Hey guys, I just came up with a little idea that I want to share with you. I have a camper shell on my Nissan Frontier, and sometimes I put stuff in the back of my truck like a lawnmower, and then the handle doesn't fit in, and then I usually let it stick out of the camper shell and leave the back gate open. And on a calm day with no wind, it's no problem. Only caution is probably driving through a lot of potholes and whatnot, and your tailgate kind of bounces, and then the little struts left and right, they're kind of pushing this open, and then the struts would always bounce up against their own stop, and that's probably not good, and it could potentially damage the tailgate, and then there's glass in there, and then that breaks, and so I came up with a little idea here. Let me show you. That's exactly what I was talking about. I have a lawnmower in there. It's a Honda. It doesn't have a really nicely folding handle, so I have to let the handle stick out of the tailgate here. And then my struts, they are both pretty new, so it pushes it up pretty nicely, holds up even against the airflow when you're driving like 50-60 miles an hour, no problem. But every time you go through a pothole, it bounces up against those struts, and those little pivot balls studs here, they could break off, or here at the bottom it could break off, or you could damage the hinge. And so what I figured is I come up with something that will hold the tailgate kind of like halfway closed, and then put something here around the piston that will stop it from closing further. And I added a little handle here in the middle of my tailgate with stainless steel hardware. This was just one of those handles that you get at the hardware store, and then I can hook this down with a strap down to my trailer hitch. So I figured if I grab some 5/16 fuel line that will fit around this piston roughly, and just cut it the right length. So I want the strut not to be fully extended, so kind of like this. Put a piece of fuel hose around each piston. I just cut it to length and then cut it open, so it has a slit on the side, so you can push it over. Do that on both sides, and then add a little strap here in the middle. And only tools you need is a pair of side cutters, and then I have this utility knife with a hook on it that makes it really easy to kind of cut the fuel line lengthwise. So let me do that real quick, and then I'll show you the result. So now I have two rubber fuel hose pieces that I just cut open. You can see the slot. Did that on both sides, tried to make them as even in length as possible. Now if I pull the struts down, it will come to a stop against that rubber. It shouldn't push that off. It's actually pretty difficult to pull this off of the piston, so I think it's gonna hold on pretty good. So now I can pull it down a little bit, and then I have one of those really cheapo, not a ratchet strap, just one of those spring-loaded clippy thingies here. I'll put it on real quick for you. So that's it. The rubber fuel line will keep the gate from closing. The orange strap here goes down to my hitch, and I even put it through the lawnmower handle here, so it's not flopping in the breeze. This should hold. There's not too much tension on there, only the force that those struts apply want to push it open. So now you have the strut wanting to push it open, the strap pulling it closed, and the rubber sitting in between there, the fuel line here. This is 5/16, and this should be fine. So now the tailgate is a little lower than before, maybe a little bit more out of the wind, and it cannot bounce up against its mechanical stop. I didn't put much tension on here. I just, ever so slightly, you can probably ease off a little bit, so it has a little bit of a bounce, but maybe not. Yeah, see, it's not really that hard. I can even tighten it up with one hand. So yeah, I think this is probably something that I'm gonna keep in my truck from now on, and every time I have to do this, I'm gonna put those little fuel lines in there because I'm afraid that eventually I'm gonna break something off here. This is all just extruded aluminum with a couple rivets, and then those ball ends here where the struts click onto, they are only riveted on as well. So don't want to damage anything driving in the wind here especially. So you have the bounce of the truck and the wind as well that might grab this whole thing here, and I think this might do it. Yeah, that might do it. Alrighty guys, I hope you like it. Give me a thumbs up if you like, and subscribe to the channel. See you next time. Bye.